The last train, out of Portland. It's October 2024. Cold rain washes over downtown Portland. Inside the control room of the TriMet Rail Operations Center, night supervisor Daniel Mercer is halfway through a cup of burnt coffee when one of his monitors freezes, then flickers, then shows something it shouldn't, a train that doesn't exist. The system displays a westbound commuter train leaving downtown, except there is no scheduled departure for another 40 minutes. Daniel frowns, probably a software glitch. He refreshes the screen. The phantom train is still moving and accelerating. 20 minutes earlier, a woman named Elena Park stepped onto the platform at Pioneer Courthouse Square. She was heading home after a late shift at a hospital, headphones in, tired, distracted. The train arrived unusually fast, no operator visible in the cab. But that wasn't unheard of anymore. Automation had taken over most of the commuter system last year. The doors slid open. About 20 people stepped inside. The doors closed, and the train pulled away. Back in the control center, Daniel checks the train ID number. It belongs to a retired unit, decommissioned 6 months ago after a brake system failure. It's supposed to be sitting in a storage yard outside the city, not moving through downtown at 62 miles per hour. He calls the yard supervisor. The man answers, confused. All units are accounted for, he says. Daniel sends him the live feed. Silence. Then, that's impossible. On board, passengers start to notice something is wrong. The interior screens, which normally display the next stop, are blank. No announcements, no slowing. They pass the first scheduled station, then the second. A man presses the emergency intercom. No response. A teenage boy tries to pry open a door between cars. It's locked. Elena walks toward the front of the train. Through the glass panel, she sees the driver's cabin. Empty. No conductor. No one at the controls. The throttle lever is pushed forward, held in place by something metallic, like it's been jammed. Daniel tries to remotely override the system. Denied. He attempts to cut track power. Command rejected. The train is no longer responding to central control, which means someone physically altered it. But how and why? Then Daniel sees something else. The route map. The train isn't following the normal commuter line anymore. It switched tracks manually 2 minutes ago. It's heading toward a freight-only industrial spur. At the end of that spur, a fuel storage depot, massive propane tanks. If a commuter train hits that at full speed, Daniel doesn't finish the thought. On the train, panic begins to spread. Passengers are now screaming. Someone dials 911. Another records on their phone. Elena reaches the cabin door and pounds on it. Nothing. She looks down, the metal wedge holding the throttle in place. It's not random scrap. It's a custom-cut bracket. Deliberate. Someone prepared this, and they boarded earlier. Security footage from the previous station finally loads in Daniel's system. He rewinds, watches. There. A man in a gray maintenance jacket steps onto the train moments before departure. No badge scan, no face on record. He never exits. Daniel switches cameras, finds him. He's in the rear car, standing calmly while others panic, watching his phone. Police are dispatched to intercept the train at the next crossing, but the speed is too high. Barriers won't hold. Daniel makes a decision. There is one manual failsafe left, a track derail switch just before the industrial spur. If activated, it will force the train off the tracks. It will likely flip. There will be injuries, possibly deaths, but it might prevent a catastrophic explosion. He has 30 seconds to choose. Inside the train, Elena moves toward the rear car. She sees him, the man in gray. He isn't panicking. He's smiling. She confronts him. "What did you do?" He studies her, calm. "I fixed something," he says quietly. "Fixed what?" He gestures vaguely. "The message. Later, investigators would uncover the truth. He wasn't part of a terrorist organization. He wasn't radicalized. He wasn't trying to send a political message. He was a former rail systems engineer, laid off during automation cuts. Obsessed with proving the system was vulnerable, he believed a near-miss disaster would force the city to abandon AI-operated trains. He calculated derailment injuries, insurance costs, public outrage. He didn't calculate panic or physics. Back in the control room, Daniel flips the derail switch. The screen flashes red. On the live feed, sparks erupt under the train. Metal screams. Cars begin to tilt. One lifts, then slams sideways. Glass explodes. The train skids across gravel and concrete, stopping 200 yards short of the fuel tanks. No explosion, but chaos. Emergency crews flood the scene. Miraculously, no fatalities. Dozens injured. The man in gray survives. He doesn't resist arrest. When questioned, he says, "I had to show them." Show them what? That it was already broken. Months later, Portland suspends full automation. Human operators return to the cabins. The city praises Daniel Mercer for decisive action. He doesn't feel like a hero. He replays the choice every night because derailment wasn't the only option. There was another emergency protocol buried deep in the system, one he overlooked, one that might have stopped the train safely. He discovers it 3 weeks after the incident, an override added during early testing, never documented properly. If he had waited 15 more seconds, maybe no one would have been hurt. He never tells anyone. The public believes disaster was narrowly avoided, but Daniel knows something else. The system wasn't hacked, it wasn't hijacked. It was exploited by someone who understood it better than the people running it. And that vulnerability still exists because the man in gray didn't build the automation system alone. He had help, and not all of them were laid off.